Hey everybody, Scott Holden here, and this is the last opportunity we have to tell you about our Indiegogo campaign for What's a Podcast? The documentary film. That's right. Go over to our Indiegogo campaign, excuse me, and you can do that by going to ThatMan.FatMan.com and clicking on the link to What's a Podcast? Indiegogo campaign, and there you find various perks. And let's face it, folks, we only have until the 31st, so this is the last opportunity we have to tell you about it on this show. And, you know, what can I say? We really tried. I know the holidays are busy for everybody. And best of intentions, everybody wants to contribute. But then the holidays get in the way. Well, now Christmas is over, so if you got any leftover cash, or maybe you got a gift certificate or some kind of money card, you can throw that on to our Indiegogo campaign. For $25, you can secure yourself a copy of the movie in advance. But, you know, and there's other perks as well. For $250, you can buy your way onto the show as a guest. That's our most extravagant perk. The highest perk is standard perk is $100, and that's like a bonus edition with a shout out in the credits and all kinds of good stuff. So please, with the new year coming, this is the last chance we have to tell you about it. Please go over to our Indiegogo campaign. Go to ThatManOnFatMan.com. Click on the link. It'll take you right there. We appreciate it very much. We'd very much like to fund. Thank you.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and I want to urge you to make a generous donation to the Wayne Foundation so we can stop the sexual trafficking of children. Do it, or I'll find you.
And don't forget to check out our good friend of the show, Mark Live, over at chundertunes.com for all your podcast animation needs. ThatMan on FatMan is recorded with a Zoom H6 handy recorder. Zoom for creators.
Disclaimer. The show you're about to experience is for entertainment purposes only. The host used mature language and conversation just like in most of life. If you're too uptight, this might not be for you. All that said, we really do hope you enjoy the show. But if you don't enjoy it, expect a nice big shipment of my joyous Joker juice on your doorstep in the very near future. Toodles!
As the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan, I appreciate the fact that somebody finally made a podcast about that interesting motherfucker. So yes, you absolutely did the right thing. If I mean, you know, I know it's kind of gross for me to be like, yes, doing a Kevin Smith podcast was fucking smart, but I do feel like it was smart. I appreciate it. I think you were right to do that.
Okay, what has two thumbs and is a huge fan of Kevin Smith? ThatMan!
What are we going to do about the pancake master?
We need a costumed vigilante is what we need. Justice can't be served unless it's being fought outside the system.
Here's what we're going to do, eh?
Oh, shit. It's ThatMan. Who is he? He's ThatMan. He's talking. What should we do?
Oh, there he goes by in the Thatmobile.
The what? Thatmobile, his car. Go get him, ThatMan.
Well, once upon a time, a regular man read a book written by the Fat Man. Tough shit, written by old Kev Smith. Kev said go out and start a podcast, and so I did, and I had a real blast. But my obsession was driving my co-host nuts. Didn't want to bring the podcast down. Needed Porkchop Murphy to hang around. So I created a new show with one heck of a plan, and I'd call that show ThatMan on FatMan, because we're going to chat about Kevin Smith. That's right, let's talk about old Kev Smith. Hey everybody, and welcome to this special first ever, I mean, it's a clip show of That Man on Fat Man. I'm Scott Holden, and sitting here with me in the That Cave is none other than producer extraordinaire, co-host Jeanne Holden.
Hi, guys.
And welcome to this special. Yeah, I've been thinking about it. Wow, this is our first ever clip show.
Yeah.
And usually clip shows feel like cop-outs, but I don't think this one is really a cop-out. This is the year 2015 in review from our perspective. And the way we figured we would do this is we would pick, I call it the top 10 moments, but you could call it, it's not really the top 10 episodes. That seems limiting. But these episodes sort of represent the top 10 moments of the show. And
there are so many other great moments, but it's just hard to...
Yeah, and there's... Yeah, when people say, oh, you got to pick, how can you pick your time? What are your favorites? You know what? It was weird. I usually would think it would be really hard. But when you say, okay, when you start making limits, it becomes easier. So first it was, all right, 10 episodes from 1 year. So yeah, I pulled some stats, and as it turns out, we've done 55 shows, including this one, in the year 2015. So again, overachievers.
Right.
Not quite as bad as the first year. And it's kind of weird, too, because our anniversary comes in February, so it seems like once the holidays come, we're celebrating something. You know, it's like, first we're celebrating Christmas, then we're celebrating
the
New
holidays.
Year's,
There's a lot of celebration in our lives.
So,
in the holidays.
And let's face it, 2015 was a particularly good year.
It really was.
Yeah, for the show
Nice,
and
isn't
for
that
us
nice
personally.
it's nice to say that. And to share it with all you guys.
So when looking back at the shows we're going to pick, it was much easier than I thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just seemed to come together in sort of a story. So we're going to get to that in just a moment. But first, I want to do a special shout out to Dr. Squee, who hosts the show, the podcast Gallifrey Stands. He dropped his first radio play, which is essentially, it's a Doctor Who special.
It was good.
Yeah, it's an audio play, or yeah, that's the best way to put it. It's like an old-time radio drama. Yours truly is in it for a very brief moment. If you stop to go pee, you may miss me, so don't do that at all. But yes, it was very clever and very fun, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm kind of proud of Dr. Squee.
I know you are. You often say, like, wow, he's grown.
He really is a pro. He sounds like a pro.
He's really cool guy.
He's doing a good job. He's hitting it out of the park. My only regret is I'm not a bigger Whovian. So
yeah.
I'd love to be more interactive with him, but it just doesn't. I don't know that it makes as much sense. So,
yeah.
But dude, I'm so proud of you. Shout out!
Awesome.
Thanks for allowing me to be a part of it. Everyone who's listening to this should go, and especially if you're a Doctor Who fan, go and download his podcast and become super active in his show. Also, another shout out to the Anderson Council.
Yeah.
Who got the TESD prize this week.
Got the news. It was on the TESD news.
Yeah. It's cool whenever someone, we know and like, gets it. And it's always cool when someone's doing it, just gets a shout out doing the right thing.
I'm curious to hear the story about all that.
Oh, I know it because he told me about it. He kept me on the loop.
That's cool.
While it was happening. Like, he reached out. He's like, oh, hey. He's like, oh, Brian just reached out to me and he told me what was going on. I was like, oh, dude, you have to do it. You have to. He's like, I'm going to see if I can snag one. So, and he did.
So Brian
Not
contacted
like I
him or Anderson Council contacted?
No, Brian put out a tweet
that
he was looking for a Barbie Dream House.
Wow, that's cool that he got, because they're really hard to find.
I guess so.
But maybe they just got a shipment or something. He's like, wait, this is on hold for Brian Johnson.
Apparently, Barbie is hot again this year. So
yeah,
that
Barbie's
became
hot.
a big
that must
thing.
make her feel really good.
Yeah.
Ken too.
So shout out to the Anderson Council for doing the right thing for Mr. Brian.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Brian Johnson over there at Tell Him Steve Did. And really, For Seiji.
For Seiji. Did
Yeah,
you see
so-
the picture of her with it?
No, I
on
didn't.
Twitter?
I haven't seen the follow-up
It's
yet.
adorable. I can't.
I was so busy cutting
don't
shows
really-
and stuff. I haven't seen stuff today.
It was her. Like I think she's like holding her hands to her cheeks, like in surprise, and standing next to it is really cute. Very sweet.
Yes.
Good job, sir.
All right. I will also say that we've given the staff the week off again,
Yeah.
so there won't be any pick of the TESD groupies pick of the week or Smed lines this week. We're just going to do our little countdown. We're going to summarize what 2015 was like, and we're going to wish everyone a happy new year for 2016, and we're going to take this lovely stroll down memory lane. Anything else you can think of that we got to get out there? Any other announcements before we dive into the meat of the show?
I can't think of anything. There's a whole bunch of people I probably want to thank for their Christmas and holiday messages and all that. And thank you, Ben Gummery, for sending me the exciting news showing the first picture of Benedict Cumberbatch as... Who is he?
As Sherlock.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, Doctor Strange. Oh, you sent...
He
what?
sent, there was an article and there's a picture of him as Doctor Strange. And
Really?
He sent it to me. Yeah.
Why did he send it to you and not me?
Because he knows that I'm a Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, but I'm a fucking Doctor Strange
biatch.
fan, biatch.
Well, he sent it to both of us.
Anyway, all right. So
Thank you, Ben.
thanks, Ben.
And Sherlock starts on Friday.
And you guys were
January
also
1st.
good in Dr. Squee's presentation.
Yes.
I got a kick out of you guys. So
And I love seeing all
seemed
your
prophetic.
Christmas pictures.
and
So
all,
cute.
It worked out.
Congratulations to you.
I hope you guys really like the Star Wars show. While it didn't make the top 10, it's sort of a personal favorite. I really fucking enjoyed it. I also know that there's been some spoilers. Like I know, or not spoilers, but I know there's been some corrections. We were corrected that the planet that looks a lot like Coruscant is not Coruscant. It's some other planet.
Oh.
So Coruscant was not destroyed, which is cool because I like Coruscant. And
You added ThatMan correction.
yes, and I'm sure there's going to be more. I still don't have a firm stance on chopping off of the hand versus cutting the lights, wounding the arm and cutting off the lightsaber, cutting the lightsaber in half.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see it again. I need to see it again.
You can already pre-order it on like every streaming service.
Can you really?
Oh yeah, you can.
When does it come out?
No date, but you can just buy it, like for $19.99 or whatever.
That's awesome.
But why buy that? But first you go over to Indiegogo. Actually, you go over to ThatMan on FatMan.com.
Yes.
Then you click on the Indiegogo link and you give us $25 for a copy of our movie.
Yeah.
Then you can secure yourself a copy of the Star Wars.
Because all of our copies will sell out a lot quicker than Star Wars.
Yeah, sure. We're really, I mean, we understand, folks, and we'd love to say, wow, we were impressed that everything burned up. We understand it's the holidays and it's fucked up, but we really have it down to the wire. 31st is all we got. We got 3 days to basically sell everything, right? Because we barely moved anything. So please help us out. We're going down. We're going down without a fight at this point. Please help us go down with a fight. All right, enough of that dour shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks.
Let's get on to the funny stuff.
Let's have some fun on New Year's Eve. Bonnie likes him. Anyway, flashback. All right, so here we go. This is our little top 10 of moments that we thought were really cool in the past year. If your episode is not featured, please don't take any offense. It's just these ones. There's special moments that earmark, the journey that we've taken over the year. So, are you ready to start?
Yes.
All right, we're going to start with number 10. We're going to do the countdown. Counting down to number 1. Wait, hang on. I'm going to try and get into my Casey. Casey, Yucca.
Yucca. That's.
No, yeah. Let me see. A little dog named Snuggles. It's a long-distance dedication. Am I in the wheelhouse?
Yeah, you're kind of there.
In the Soul House and the Pulp House.
You do have like a Johnny Carson kind of.
Johnny Carson. That's wrong. I'm trying to go for Casey Kasem.
I know it does sound, but it has like a Johnny
Casey
Carson flair to it.
How you doing, Scoob? That's right, because he did Shaggy. Casey Kasem was Shaggy.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was also
yeah,
Robin.
Good Shaggy.
On the Super Friends.
Really?
Yeah. He had a very distinct voice. Yes, poor guy and his weird weird wife did everything got real weird at the end for that poor guy.
What were we listening to when he was like the
little dog named Snuggles?
What was that from?
It's so goddamn hard to go into these goddamn up-tempo numbers.
What was that from?
It's a sort of a classic. It's an outtake of Casey Kasem losing his mind that Howard used to play.
Oh, that's right, Howard.
Has just sort of made the rounds.
The countdown will begin this Sunday afternoon at 1, right here on the radio station you grew up with, Music Radio 138. Oh, fuck. What the hell's going on here? Jeez, well, isn't it the last hour? We got another hour to do? Jeez, I thought we were almost finished. Good golly, Miss Molly. This is fucking ponderous, man. Ponderous, fucking ponderous. Hi, this is Casey Kasem. American Top 40 has moved to a new time. I hope you'll join me this Saturday morning and every Saturday morning at 2. Now, we're up to our long-distance dedication. And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio, and here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's go start again. From coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. See, when you come out of those up-tempo goddamn numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions. And then you got to go into somebody dying. You know, they do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but goddamn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. Because last goddamn time, I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is that's up-tempo, and I got to talk about a fucking dog dying.
Oh, what a fucking classic. All right, so that starts out this countdown here about the fucking dog dying. God damn it, and where's my pic... Get Jeanne on the phone. God damn it, where's Jeanne? Ooh, get her on the phone. I want to see the goddamn pictures I was supposed to see.
Ooh, poor Miss Cup. She's like, what happened?
Get me Jeanne on. It's so hard to come out of those fucking up-tempo numbers, man.
So scary.
God damn. Welcome to the top 40 of 2015's Moments on ThatMan on FatMan. That's right, welcome to the fucking show. Goddamn Jeanne isn't paying any attention to what we're fucking doing. Get me Alex on the phone. Where's my agent? Where's Don? Somebody get Don on the phone. And where are my pictures? I can totally identify with that whole thing. Every aspect. Welcome to the countdown for 2015. Are you with us, Jeanne?
I'm here.
All right. Let's go. So in our first slot today on the countdown, we have from show. Guess one. Yes, it's a more recent one. That's right, indeed. It's recent. It's from episode 2-39 with Kevin Allison. That's right, our first show. Originally posted on 11/9/2015, just around the corner. And here we come with our first hit on the countdown.
Well, for those who don't know, we're joined on the show today by Mr. Kevin Allison, another famous Kevin podcaster. And I don't know if you're a fan of Kevin Smith, but we kind of dive into that milieu Although we've been sort of stretching our legs and going wherever we want.
We've been venturing out just with like what we like.
Yes. So.
Yeah, I love Kevin Smith, and I would love to have him on Risk sometime.
Ooh.
There are so many people that I think would be ideal to have on Risk, but just don't know about it yet. And if they knew about it, and if they heard a couple of episodes, a lot of these people I think would be like, oh, yes, I'm totally down for doing this show.
Yes.
I would be very surprised if Kevin did not know Risk.
Yeah.
Because I know he follows, the charts and everything. So, and you're pretty much regularly in there. So, you're up. You're always in that iTunes 100. So.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And we enjoy it for sure. So we're definitely on board.
Thank you.
Hey, oh wow! The reason I picked that clip coming out of the gate is it's prophetic. On top of him being on the top 100 list frequently, he also was picked as iTunes one of their top podcasts for 2016. So
awesome.
Or 2015. I keep saying 2016. 2015.
And he's a Kevin Smith fan.
And he's a Kevin Smith fan, as
Very
you heard.
cool.
So yeah, big congratulations to Kevin Allison for that. And I mean, I figure we would as we progress in our countdown, the cuts would get longer. Should I stop with the Casey Kasem voice? Is it too annoying?
Yeah, it's kind of creepy though, a little bit.
Yeah. I'm no Ralph Garman.
Ralph Garman's the best. He does great imitations.
All right, coming in at number 9. I'm sorry, I at least have to do that. Number 9 on our countdown. This was a real special show for me in that I just never saw this coming. Like, I've always been a huge Mystery Science Theater fan.
Right.
So I'm leading the witness here. So you can do the math. Anyone who knows the show knows the interview that's coming. We were lucky enough to have Frank Conniff on. And that was back. That was also not too long ago. That was show 2-33. It was back in October. The 4th of October is when we posted this. And I got to talk with him. And then he dropped a big surprise for me as a former Air America head listener. I know that's probably way too weird for some people, but I explained some of it to him during the episode and probably some of it off mic. But so this is our number 9 moment of the year. This is my interview with Frank Conniff.
It's so funny because you figure New York is the Mecca. It's the show.
Yeah, well, I'm the only guy who left New York to go to the Midwest to get on a TV show.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, how long did you do the show? You were at least what?
I was there for 5 seasons.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
1990 to 95, and then I moved to LA. I decided I wanted to kind of branch out and see if I could work on other TV shows, and because I'd always wanted to do that. So I moved out there, and I ended up writing for Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Invader Zim, The Drew Carey Show, The Tom Green Show, and then I came back to New York and worked on Air America, and then I went back to L.A. and
Wait, backpedal. Hang on, hold the phone. You were on Air America?
Yeah, I was a writer. Liz Winstead, who you might know, co-created The Daily Show and is one of my closest friends.
Yes, and hers was the morning show with Rachel Maddow and Chuck D.
Chuck D, yes, I wrote for that. I wrote for Mark Maron's early morning show.
Oh wow, I did not realize that at all. I'm fat.
I wrote a sketch every day for that show that he did with Kent Jones, who to this day works on the Rachel Maddow show, and he would play a character, and he and Maron would do a sketch every day, and I was the guy who wrote it, and then I also wrote for Liz's and Rachel's show, and and I wrote for Janine Garofalo and Sam Cedar's show.
I did not realize that. That's amazing.
All right. Wow. There you go.
They're all excited again when we were telling a story.
Yeah. And then we start talking, and I don't realize the mic is off. Yeah. I tell you,
great.
Having him on, and the whole Air America thing was amazing.
No.
Now, we should have filmed with him by now, but we've had some scheduling conflicts because he has really busy evenings, and a lot of our camera guys aren't available during the day, and yeah. So, but this month we will definitely be sitting down with Mr. Conniff and for the film, and I can hardly wait for that to happen.
Be awesome.
Yes. So all you Misty heads, and you know what? Here's another thing that was very topical about that. Mystery Science Theater is like back on the map in a big way with this, with their, what do you call it, Kickstarter campaign. Now, I don't know. I don't want to shit on it because I love the show, but wow, their thresholds are really high. They better be doing everything union. That's all I know. Because when I'm thinking about the cost of to do their episodes, like they have a sliding scale. If they raise this much amount, they get this many episodes.
Right.
It's a lot. It's a lot of money. They're looking for a lot. I mean, they're getting it too. So God bless them.
Yeah, good
but
for them.
Wow, it better be really high quality, entertainment that they're getting, because I know, when we look at our campaign and we're struggling.
Well, if they're getting enough money to make it happen, that's cool.
Yeah, well, I hope we see it on the screen.
I hope so too.
Is what I'm saying. But I hold out high hopes. All the casting looks very interesting. It's very exciting to see that there's going to be another generation of that show, and crowdsourcing made it happen.
Well, they still have a lot of fans. I mean, it's definitely a show that has kept fans and made new fans throughout the years.
And it certainly helps these guys, because now with the new show, if it becomes popular, there's still what that means is there's interest in the show, interest in the old show.
Right.
These guys will get more gigs. They'll be able to do more cons. They'll be relevant again.
Well, there's tons of movies that they can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's they're never ending.
Yeah. They could even do it so that have internet people, submit movies so that, because in the past, part of the problem with reruns was they would have to get the rights to the film as well. So the film and the show are all tied together, and it became very difficult to always coordinate that. And so they have to sew that up front. And maybe that is why it's so expensive per episode. More a rights thing.
Yeah.
So there you go. So
very
Misty,
cool.
Back on the map.
Yes.
2015, this was an amazing year, and hopefully carries right into 2016. Boy, if this is your first show, if this is your first episode of ThatMan and FatMan, I think, it's going to be a little treat. You're
You get a little bit of...
Yeah, you're going to get
a little sampling.
Yeah, you're going to sampler. It's a ThatMan on...
It's like a sampler.
It's a ThatMan on FatMan sampler. I'm Casey Kasem. That was the worst Casey Kasem ever, but...
It's like you're ready for an appetizer and you get a little bit of each.
Yes. Or like you go to your beer place and you get your beer, your brewery where they give you the sampler of 4 different shot glasses of beer or whatever.
Or wine.
Yeah. All right. So.
Or cheese.
Coming in at number 8 on the chart. That's right. On the number 8 on the ThatMan on FatMan chart. This is
Casey, are you smoking again?
I don't know. This is, to me, this was just mind-blowingly amazing, because I never would have fucking thought this. This person, the caliber of actor that I don't know how it happened. I don't remember how it happened. I don't really know, but it did. And it's on this show. And I remember telling Damien about it, and he was like, "What? What?" Like, "Oh yeah, he was on our show too." And this is when we were at Walker Stalker Con.
Oh.
And the reason we were talking about it when we were at Walker Stalker Con, and I was mentioning that this particular gentleman was on the show, because coming in at number 8 is episode number 2-08 with Michael Rooker. That's right. And this was, we put this up on 4/19/2015. 2015. Here's a cut from
Wow, that really?
our
Wow.
show with Michael Rooker. The year went by so fucking fast, man. It felt like this
my
was almost
God,
yesterday.
it's
But
April?
here we go.
Well, I guess I was in my young 20s when I first saw Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer and was utterly blown away by her performance, frightened by it. Now, how do you approach the craft? I mean, are you method, or do you just wing it, or what's your approach?
Baby, I go way beyond method. All right, method stops at thinking about your puppy in the middle of the road, run over by a semi truck. You know? No, I'm not there. Okay, I'm beyond that. I mean, most good actors are. You know, and I mean by that is like you make it personal. It becomes a personal thing. I find it even hard to talk about my character in the third person. You know, when I'm doing interviews.
Really?
You know, especially if I'm doing an interview and in the middle of still doing the project. It's a little different than some people, and it's tough to not. It's tough. People don't know where the character stops and where you pick up, or where you stop and the character picks up. It's all melded together. You understand?
Yeah.
So when Lori Holden would come up and talk to me on set, and she'd look at me for a minute, and she'd say stuff like, "I have no idea. I don't know if who, you know, whether I'm talking to Mel Dixon or Michael Rooker." I said, "Well, you're talking to both, baby. You know, we're here. You know, it's this. I'm in the middle of about to do the scene.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm not gonna jeopardize the scene by a lot of times coming out of character and just completely stopping what I'm doing. You know, I'm about to do a scene, so you know, there's all you got to have that bubble around you so that you're sort of protecting the integrity of what you're about to do.
Yeah.
And so when I'm on set, I learned this from when I did Henry. When I did Henry, I stayed in character all day long.
Oh my God.
And that was a hard job to do, and it was harder to go in and out of character though. So fortunately for me, I figured that out, and so I basically just go into another room and just be by myself, you know, because I could not go in and out of character and talk about the lighting and talk about the you know, all this kind of stuff. You can do that in some movies, you know, like action movies and all that kind of stuff. You can do it in some movies. When you play characters that are as messed up as some of my roles,
mm-hmm.
It's really difficult to do, and I find it really hard to do. So I try to stay as close to where I need to be as possible.
Oh my God.
Wow, he's
Like,
intense.
fuck yeah, seriously, it's like being schooled by Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
Like, take the dick out of your ear and listen.
I know. Preach.
Yeah, totally amazing stuff. I'm like,
wow, it's really intense.
that's why I go like, how the fuck can we get this?
Wow.
It's been an amazing journey.
Yes.
An amazing journey.
And we've met some amazing people.
Yes,
supportive, amazing people.
Now, this next moment coming in at number 7. This next moment really was so pivotal to the year. I had no idea at first, but it was probably, you know, it's number 7 is a lucky number, so I don't find it strange that it's in this slot. And this was when we had Malcolm Ingram on. So coming in at number 7, Malcolm Ingram. And we had him on, and it was posted, this is from 4/11.
Oh my God.
So it was a week before the Michael Rooker show.
Yeah.
And
wow, we're on fire that couple weeks.
yeah. This is show 2-07. And the reason why this was so pivotal, and I don't think I pulled this, I think I pulled around the clip. I couldn't actually find. I think I destroyed all the bits that I took out. They're gone, so I can't find the moment where like I was like, Eureka! I'd do a movie about podcasting, but it's in there somewhere. Also, cutting for him was very difficult because he's a podcaster, and he's he's able to go from subject to subject and then come back like a lot of podcasters can do, like a lot of ADD people can do. So there's a lot of drifting. So to edit this was a little bit of an effort,
right?
But I think it's a really cool edit. You get a nice sampling of the show that he was on. So here he is, Malcolm Ingram.
Cop Out was such an incredibly bizarre. That was such a weird experience. So again, I've been on a lot of Kevin sets, but that movie was so big. It was like this big Warner Brothers movie. And every day going to work and seeing Bruce Willis. Again, don't think I'm telling tales of the school, but I mean, Kevin and Bruce had a very tumultuous relationship.
Yeah.
Which sucks because Kevin was a huge Bruce Willis fan.
I get it. Like, Bruce Willis certainly had, Bruce Willis wasn't always a pile of fun. But I still, I love Bruce Willis. I still do. And I mean, I understand Kevin's thing about it. I saw about a half an hour of Yoga Hosers. The progression from Red State to Tuss to Yoga, like Yoga Hosers is fucking crazy.
Cool.
But it's like, it's kind of literally, it's so audacious. It's just kind of like, it's like, you're like, how the fuck do you think about this? And like, how do you get it to the point where you're filming it? Because it's so absurd and crazy, and it's so awesome for that. Like I have a great admiration for kind of the fun that he's having. I think it's great, and it's great because he's kind of he's really connected back with Muse again, and Muse has worked really hard to stay off drugs.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I've been around as much. Is I think that like Muse and Kevin have had a very complicated road, and I think that I was kind of like when Muse was in, like Kevin likes having a cohort. Kevin likes having a sidekick.
Yeah.
I mean, as Silent Bob. I mean, he loves to have a sidekick. So I was kind of, I think, Jay is the original sidekick, and when Jay wasn't around, I was the sidekick, and Moja's been the sidekick, and Johnson's been the sidekick. So we've all been the sidekick. But I think that now that Muse is back and he's kind of, he's got his life together, I think that they have a really great partnership now.
Tell us about Out to Win.
Yes, tell us about your latest.
I need to hear about this because it's I'm so intrigued.
It's just a documentary about gay athletes. We started filming it last year in February. We talked to a lot. I mean, it was very kind of lucky. It's very fortuitous that we kind of got it together, and we've been. I spent all last year kind of traveling around interviewing, these incredible athletes. Like
and all of these amazing people you met.
Martina Navratilova did, Billie Jean King, Jason Collins, Brittany Griner, Billy Bean. Like, we've talked to some incredible, like, it's been an embarrassment of riches. So we put this movie together, and it worked out. Now we're doing our festival run in it right now. We just played South by Southwest, and we were just over in London. We're the closing night film in London. I can't believe the luck we got and the people we talked to. And it's just kind of because of the people we talked to and because everybody was just so absolutely, great. The movie worked out really well. I wish I could take more kind of credit for it. I wish I could be like, I'm the greatest. But it's literally, I've been very, very, with all 4 of my documentaries, I've been very privileged with the subject matter and the people that I've gotten to speak to who kind of elevate my bullshit, kind of, make me look better than I actually am. I'm just very, very lucky.
Well, I've had the same kind of thing happen to me in my life, I think. So, to there, I salute you, sir.
I mean, I always said, like, Kevin taught me to fish. Give the man a fish or whatever.
Yeah,
if you for a day, if you teach him to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Like, I mean, Kevin taught me how to fish. Like, he literally, in every aspect of that metaphor, he taught me how to fish. So now I have the privilege to go out and kind of, stand on my own 2 feet.
He still teaches me to fish.
Huh?
He still teaches me to fish. Like, I gave up the sugar thing, too. I lost 40 pounds.
See, isn't that like this fucking the guy's a modern day Christ. He's a modern day Christ.
He pretty much is, yeah.
My God.
Yeah, I mean,
and you've got a podcast for him. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, you're dude. You have no idea. It blows my mind every day. There you go, Malcolm Ingram.
Wow.
That made me smile there at the end too. I mean, it's just
sweet.
I get such a kick out of it.
He's such a fan of Kevin. He's such a
and he's touched off such a thing in me.
Yeah.
That like I didn't even realize it until as I'm winding it back. But that was the moment.
He has such positive energy.
Yeah.
He's a real positive guy.
Yeah, and there was so much Kevin talk, and it was such a good show when I was reviewing it to figure out what cuts I wanted to take. Yeah,
the Kevin adrenaline was.
He's also doing I think Indiegogo, maybe a Kickstarter, I forget. But go check out Malcolm Ingram out on the interwebs. Go to his Facebook page. Check out his Twitter page, although he's not as active on Twitter. I think he's more active on Facebook. Just go on Facebook, type in Malcolm Ingram, and I'm sure you'll hit him. Check out links to his
Indiegogo.
Is it Indiegogo?
I believe so, yeah.
We covered it a couple episodes again, but since we brought him up, I figured we'd at least throw in a plug.
Right.
So there you go. I mean, check out his stuff.
He's awesome.
Yes, he's a good guy, and again, we owe him a lot. And you'll notice, I think, in these next few picks, it's like a long-distance dedication to our story. But yeah, we're kind of like in these sort of tell a story that is a big part of our year. And so coming in at number 6.
It's Phantom of Winnipeg.
Gotcha.
Is the Indiegogo for Malcolm.
So check that out. Phantom of Winnipeg for...
It's at Phantom Winnipeg.
Yes, but only do it after you've gone to our Indiegogo campaign for What's a Podcast or Podcast Movie Documentary Film.
We're number 1.
Yes. No offense, but...
No, but...
Hey, we need money.
Yes. Thanks, guys. Yeah, we really could use it.
We're browbeating them. All right.
No.
So, our next guest, speaking of movies... It was his second appearance, and again, it was so weird because this was a big step for us for the movie, but that occurred over dinner after this episode that you're going to hear a cut from. So, coming in next is Mr. Bob Hawk Returns from episode 2-12, posted on May 17th of this year. So, and this is hey, sometimes you just got to go funny. So, we go funny on this one. Enjoy.
Show business, and I've been in show business all my adult life, including the theater. And each play or each film, you're a family that comes together. And you're so on top of each other and creating, and it's intimate and it's intense. And then either the play closes or the movie wraps. But my life has been a series of all these families, and you're so intensely together. There is
You're creating.
There is continuity with Kevin in that I was there, and I lived with him for 3 years.
Yes.
Yes,
as a result, like one of the biggest things I think that came out of our show part of this show that people latched onto was our discussion afterwards. You let slip that you saw Mr. Mosier. You saw below the waist of Mr. Mosier.
You are going to bring that up?
Well, it's become part of the show's mythology now.
What, has it been discussed?
Well, we discussed it over dinner, and then afterwards we were like, well, yeah, we have to share this with the audience. And so I posed to the audience, I said, well, maybe we should start closing the show with Scott Mosier jokes now that we have that bit of information. So, and when I was on when I got Kevin in the chair, I said, so, sir, you have to settle this We've heard that Ernie O'Donnell has a big one, and we've heard that Scott Mosier has a big one. Which one is it?
But I've never seen Scott erect.
Yeah, I specified that. It's not
and
like...
there are growers and there are showers, but
well put.
Yes. Anyway, this is ridiculous.
This is what everybody loves.
And what will Scott think, though?
It'll be like, well, I mean, you guys, that was the thing I tried to explain, because it was because you guys all lived together in that situation in Red Bank. That's why it wasn't like,
you made it apparent to Kevin that night that you were not looking to look at it.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Yeah, you just happened to see it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what
in passing.
He
is
just
how I said
taking a shower. I think he took off his towel or something.
Yeah. Shit happens.
And what the hell?
You know,
there it was.
People all living together. I love that laugh at the end.
I love him so much.
He's such a good sport too.
Oh my god.
God, that was hilarious too. It's like
I know. We get to see him soon too.
Yeah.
Yay.
So and again, the year of Hawk.
Oh my god.
Or at least this is Hawk Rising. Next year will be the year.
Yes.
2016 will be a big year for Mr. Hawk.
Flying.
Which gives us a nice segue into our next big moment of the show, and you'll see everything sort of ties together. So you know that we're doing a documentary, and we're working with Bob Hawke, on that documentary. And through the course of the year, we also got to meet some other filmmakers.
Yes,
who are documentary filmmakers, and we got to pick their brain. They came on this show. It was such a creative infusion. I do remember that this episode was recorded quite a few weeks before we actually dropped it.
Okay.
Now, on the episode, we talked openly because we knew we weren't going to put it out until we had announced that we were making a movie.
Right.
So we recorded this earlier than it actually was put out. This particular episode, let me just check the date, was put out on 7/2/15. And this would be, let's see, this is coming in at number 5, right in the middle of our countdown, ladies and gentlemen. Number 5 is Ty Parquet and J.J. Garvin for Film Hawk.
Mm-hmm. Back then it was Filming Hawk.
Yes. And now it's Film Hawk. And since then, this film has been selected for the Sundance Film Festival.
Hooray!
For January 2016.
So awesome.
So big year for these guys.
Wow.
Big year for Bob because, let's face it, he's the subject of the documentary as well as being on the selection committee. So,
yes. And
we got to see a screening of the film later this year, as part of this year. So, this really was a big tie-in, and that was a cool night too. So this really,
it really does, and really, I sat in that theater with a smile on my face the whole time.
Yeah,
the movie just brings you a smile.
So here we go. Here comes another. This is number 5. The two guys from Film Hawk. Believe me, if someone had told me 2 years ago that I would be involved in a film project with Bob Hawke, filming a documentary, I would have told you were nuts. And funny thing is, it was the last thing on my mind because I've never had a story. Mm-hmm. But then, it was actually, we had Malcolm on. Ever since we had Malcolm Ingram on, and he was talking about his documentary, and I know what I want to do, and it lit a fire into me since then. So,
very good.
Had to go.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry.
No, please.
You inspired me to kind of spill my guts a little.
If you would have asked us 10 years ago, if we were going to be working with a documentary about Bob Hawke, we would have been like, who? We would have
So I hear
Bob Hawke.
No, I knew who he was
But see, and that's the different thing. JJ was a Kevin Smith fan. I related to Kevin as an artist, but I wasn't necessarily a Kevin Smith fan. He inspired me more as an artist because he made films, he writes comic books. These are all the different things that I feel I can do and I would love to do. So he really inspired me. He was a guy that whenever an interview was published or a story was published, I always read about it. But I wouldn't necessarily be the guy who was going to run for his, to go see his movies necessarily. So that's another reason why this film became important to me, because once we got to meet Kevin, and man, he's a hell of a guy.
He's amazing.
And see, I was just the opposite. I was a fan. I saw all the films. I saw Clerks on the big screen. Mallrats opening night. I saw it at Regal People's Plaza in Newark, Delaware.
Oh, there you go. Good for you.
And it was kind of crowded.
So that we've been chasing that movie.
Screen in Philadelphia when
Cool.
it came out, and I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, we loved it too. I mean, as kids from Jersey, I had worked in a convenience store. I mean, hello, this guy is filming my life, and he's, he was speaking our language.
Yeah.
And he made us sound much smarter than we probably were. His dialogue was very well written.
He's a smart guy, man. That's one of the first things you realize whenever you listen to him. He's just such he's an intellectual. He really is. He's such a smart guy.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for Bob Hawke, there would be no Kevin Smith. So you start filming this short, and then you realize quickly, I guess, that this is too big, and Kevin's involved now.
Actually, it was the night that we filmed Kevin, which was the funny thing is, it was only supposed to be like an hour and a half.
Come on!
We ended up being there from 3:30 to like 11 or something to 12.
It was all day.
Yeah, it was all day. And I'm a tough judge of character. I don't say this much, but he really has a great spirit. I mean, it shines through who the person is, and I was actually blown away by that. But we walked outside, we got to talking, and we're like, this can't be a short anymore.
I can attest, because I mean, the lengths that he sort of went to sit down and podcast with us, the time we met with him to do the show, he didn't have to do that. And
right.
We are fucking nobodies, really. I mean, in the real grand scheme, we're fans, and he saw it as a project, and it was made aware to me by more than one person, like within the circle. It's like, he's going out of his way to do this for you. This is, this is special. So yeah, I agree. The guy is he's come a long way, and he encourages artists. That's for damn sure. And a big congratulations to those guys for getting picked in the Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
So cool.
Yeah, totally cool. Wow, we're going through these faster than I thought, I guess.
Are we?
Yeah.
We're at 4 now.
We're coming in at number 4.
Quattro.
On the pop charts and on the soul charts.
The soul charts.
This is a fun one. Now, when I went in to go take a pick out of this particular episode to grab a cut, I was like, I don't know where I should go. But then, I don't know. I was able to kind of fold 2 moments together through a little quality editing. And, I don't know how close they are to in the actual show, but I really enjoy this. Now, this was a fun, this moment was amazing. And again, coming in at number 4 is our show from NYC Podfest. Yes, this was actually in this year.
Oh my God.
It was in the year 2015, because 2015, the Podfest was in January. Now they moved
it's almost a year.
Yes, they moved it to May, which I think works better. But so the year 2015, this was our first live show, our first Podfest. We were so thrilled and excited to be a part of it. Jeremy Ween, thank you so much. Still, I mean, we are so grateful to you, and our fingers are crossed for a 2016 Podfest.
Mm-hmm.
Our check will be in the mail shortly. Not our check, but our electronic funds will be to you in the mail shortly. Just waiting for payday this Friday. And but anyway, this is from that set we did, and that was an amazing set. It was a lot of getting stuff together, but what the guests that we were able to pull together, and this is from show 1-52. Oh my God, that should have been the last show of a year, but we still had more. And our guests at that show were Scott Chiaffo, Chris Lodondo, Rob Bruce, Ernie O'Donnell, Mike Bellicose, and yourself and myself. So it was a star-studded, packed stage. Now, I think when we originally broadcast the episode, we did an audience recording. You could hear a lot more of the audience laugh. I decided to go with a board cut this time, just to give it a little variety. So you can't hear the audience as much. So it might not sound as funny. But
they're laughing.
Yeah, they're laughing in spirit. So here we go. Here is a nice little cut from New York City Podfest last year, 2015 in January.
Ernie's got a big one.
What does that mean?
Ego?
I was his roommate for years.
What the hell is that supposed
to? Do you hear that, ladies?
Help him along, Mike.
There's my
please
weirdest
help him
moment right
along.
there.
I'm so glad he's
Well
here
endowed.
now.
He's well endowed.
What's funny is he said he was going to be. You said he was going to be quiet. Now he's about to out you.
Yeah, right?
I'm not even drinking.
That's right. Oh, God.
Come on, you stepped in it.
You know I had to. I had to put you on the spot, dude.
Go for it.
Mr. Bellicose. Kev tells this story about the last time his dad hit him. It involved something about like a day of hanging out at home in robes, throwing pillows, and maybe having girls over. Do you recall any of this, and what the fuck was going on?
That was, we went out to Sandy Hook, but we got all those prickly things on us that stick to you.
Yeah.
A bunch of them. So when
burrs.
we went back to Kev's house, we had to take our clothes off.
He had to take his prick off.
Of course.
Throw our clothes.
Pricker.
So we proceeded to put on these robes.
It's a prick on a prick?
And after the robes were on, I guess we were feeling like, let's try to get some ladies over. Or he was.
How old are you?
We didn't do nothing
like
together.
Hugh Hefner over here?
I was the follower.
How old
I still am.
How old are we talking here?
In a row?
Like 13, 14? Yeah. In a row.
24, 25?
How old were you at the time, you think? Teens?
13? Yeah, 13, 14. Yeah, we were in the robes, and we never got any ladies over there. I know that.
Okay.
Or at least I didn't get no action.
And then there was
about
something about a pillow fight in the dark or something?
Pillow fight?
Yeah, you guys sort of throwing pillows at each other in the dark, or flashlight fight or something?
I think it's
Yeah, that's called a penis fight.
whoa, no, it was not
I think
that.
that's not a sword fight.
Flashlight involved.
There was something with pillows, but I'll tell you, my
I think that's
memory
when
sucks.
Hugh Hefner left the room.
I'm just trying to get to the bottom of how homoerotic this actually was.
No, there was no penis touching or anything.
Scott, just ask the true question. You want to know what Kevin looked like naked at 13?
yes.
Right. That's all you got to ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
What do you
tell
know?
me,
That's-
please.
That's the whole point of this podcast.
Yeah. You don't know that?
No, you want to put that. You want to put that in your head there somewhere.
Okay, Chris, tell him what the goal is.
Okay, I had told Scott that
This is terrible. All right,
because Scott
strap in.
throughout, I guess, the year that he had this show, he has got a lot of people that have been in the Kevin Smith world. He's got a lot of people on his show from Clerks. Recently had Bob Hawke, who, without that man,
He was awesome.
nobody would be on the stage. I mean, that's why the movie became about. So I told him, so I was like, basically, once Kevin gets on the show's over.
Right.
So done. Like that's the whole purpose of the show. And is it okay if I? I mean, you have your
Yeah,
kids.
go
are here.
ahead.
I say so. Basically, you're just going to receive Kevin's just full load in your mouth. That's just the pinnacle of like the show.
How are you going to
Over,
talk
done.
if it's
Credit.
a podcast? That's not really a good idea.
Well, that's going to sound like this at the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Done.
Thank you, sir.
iTunes and Stitcher.
That's right. But Scott will proceed to shit out that cum for years to come. That's what you'll do. That's what you will do.
What?
Thank you so much. You've
didn't
been
say
waiting to
fun.
do that, haven't you, sir? You've
And
been
then
waiting
he
to
eat
get
it
me back.
again.
That's our show, folks.
You'll just recycle it.
Ah, yes.
Was that Ernie who said that?
That was Ernie,
Oh,
indeed.
He was waiting for that
A
moment.
little bit of payback, yes. Because I put him on the spot earlier in the evening.
And the fams in the audience.
Payback. Yeah, you know it's even fun. Yeah, but you could hear Jenny and Noel.
I know.
They were cackling like.
Because it's funny.
At least somebody was getting it.
They're funny girls, anyway.
Yes, they really are. We have to.
We have to get them on at the NYC Podfest too.
Yes, we should. We certainly will try.
Noel, be very careful.
Noe, don't go over there. You know they're gonna rape you. There's some sort of twisted swinging people. Don't give them your social security number. As if like that's something people do. Can I have your social security number, Noe? I need it to call you. I mean, how does that happen?
Instead of your phone number, may I have your social security?
Oh, God. It's like, Noe, don't give them your social security number instead of your phone number. It's a very common mistake.
Don't get it mixed up.
So there you go. And Chris Lodondo getting a little spotlight in there.
Yeah,
well.
he was getting a little salty.
Yes, he was. He was getting spicy, zesty.
Salty.
Yes. Hey, as long as he gets a laugh, I don't care. As long as he's working the crowd, more power to him. I don't mind. I can dish it out and I can take it.
Yes,
it's all
you
right.
can.
It's all in fun.
You're better at dishing it out.
Well, I have more
All of
fun
us
dishing
are,
it
though.
out. I mean,
all of
everyone
us are,
does.
though. That's human.
It's never fun taking it. But if it's funny, hats off.
It's humor.
It's Yuma. And speaking of funny, no, actually, I'm jumping ahead. All right, so that was New York City Podfest, and we look forward to New York City Podfest 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jeremy Ween, and all the folks. I mean, everybody chimed in there a little bit. If you play that back, you hear Scott Chiaffo, you definitely hear Rob Bruce, you hear Ernie, you hear
Andrea
Mike.
Simmons.
And you hear
Andrea Simmons is part of that, too.
Yeah.
The NYC Podcast.
Yeah, there you go. So thank you, everybody, for being a part of that. It really was a highlight of the year.
Rob Bruce was funny. He was just like throwing in like...
All right. Now we're down to the serious top 3.
Ooh.
And before we go here, I want to shout out, I want to say to everybody out there, oh my God, I'm so happy to have a PlayStation 4. Oh,
I know.
That was the best Christmas thing ever. It was the PlayStation 4 and Fallout 4. So there you go.
Thank you, Santa.
I feel like I'm back. Thank you, Santa.
Thank you, Xana.
I'm sorry, Ray. Oh, I'm God.
Thank you,
You know what?
Barry.
There's no way. I wish I could, like a top 10 thing that I would take out of the, from the world in general and put in any top 10 list would be the Bane of Comedy. And then the Double Down from last week's Edumacation. It was fucking great. We got more of the Bane of Comedy and they expanded it even more because like Edumacation Andy, I'm talking about Edumacation, folks. There's a character that came up, and it's based on Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. And the premise just grew out of the podcast organically. What if Bane was a working nightclub comic? And they do this thing where they peel back the layers of the onion of the mechanics of a bad comic or whatever. It's just like if you've ever known comics, if you ever hung out with them, they're all kind of neurotic this way. And
yeah.
I just get such a kick out of it.
It's pretty funny.
It's not humor for everybody. Some people may listen to it and go, I don't get why this is funny to you. But to me, it's hysterical.
Didn't Andy get like the writers from...
Yes, so he got one of the writers from the Jay Leno Tonight Show.
Yeah.
He reached out and...
to write some jokes.
I got him to lay some tags on me.
You
see, when you do jokes, sometimes, see, my set, I have 2 sets, and the audience, they don't get, no, I need some fresh material. See, I'm not doing it nearly, but, oh, God.
So funny.
I listened to it at least 4 times already.
At least. It's got to have been more than that.
At least 4 times. It's so brilliant to me. I love it. I love it. So that's like that PlayStation 4, because I feel like I'm back in the game there. I feel like I'm back. And
Thank
it took
God
2
for
years
that.
to get back in the game. And this, the edumacation thing. And I downloaded the ringtone, the 99-cent ringtone. I don't even know what the fucking song is. I'm going to have to play it to you. Maybe you know. So.
Yeah, you have to play it.
Yeah. That's not it, but that's just me making shit up. All right, so
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
what
These are non sequiturs that I wanted to throw out. Thoughts that I was thinking about. Oh, I got to mention that on the show. I got to mention that. So that's another thing I wanted to mention on the show. Great education this week. All right, now we're in the last 3 of the countdown, folks. Serious nitty gritty shit here. So, coming in at number 3, again, not hard to do. These weren't hard to do. I knew the top 3 highlights of the year were very simple to me. So, this came out of nowhere. It ended up being a very complex and weird situation, but for the most part, it was a huge thing for us and a huge thing for the show, and certainly one of the year's most, like, our highest activity in terms of internet traffic and downloads and that kind of thing. So, and the episode I am referring to was nondescript, so in retrospect we ended up renaming it because people kept going, what show was that on? Because it wasn't apparent unless you read the description. And so the show I'm talking about is show 2-24 with At Midnight Smoke. God, he's so happy. Oh, God, I'm so glad. I think it's Midnight Smoke 1. And so Midnight Smoke is the guest. However, after our segment, and it's a great guest segment, don't mean to take anything away from that, but we talk about the Hitchbot story. The infamous Hitchbot story of how, from the show and from a listener and random chance, we got to introduce Kevin Smith to Hitchbot. So, and that stirred a big internet controversy and got us a lot of hits and a lot of attention in the middle of the summer in August. So, here's the cut from the Hitchbot show.
This person had my phone number, so they called me. And of all the things that I anticipated to come out of the mouth and into my ear, what I heard was just not on my radar. I just did not expect it. And what the person said was, I have Hitchbot.
Oh my God, right?
I was like, fucking A! I got so happy. I'm like, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And I'm like, there's a show tomorrow in Brooklyn, and it's free. And at the end of Kevin's Smodcast, he essentially says to the listeners, hey, if Hitchbot is out there making the rounds, it'd be really cool if Hitchbot came by. So as soon as this person told me, I said, you have to bring Hitchbot to the show. You just do. You got to bring it out on stage. It's going to be a moment. This is going to be national fucking news. Well, bring it out. He'll ask you all about the story. You can put the record straight. This person had contacted this university and alerted them, I have it, and was in the process of mailing back all the stuff. Essentially, this guy was doing all the right things. So I knew that this person was nervous. So I guess between when agreeing to all this the night before and actually going, this person went to the university, I guess, to kind of tell them what the score was or whatever. And the university, according to this person, strongly dissuaded showing it off or whatever. And again, they had the real scare in him. I don't know what they said to him, but they had him nervous. Right. And it's a damn shame, too. Hitchbot is rescued by a listener, a Kevin Smith fan, and this guy is sort of feeling persecuted. So it's clear that he's got cold feet. Well, at least Kevin's going to fucking meet Hitchbot. When we were in the car we're driving Hitchbot back, I was like, dude, you should do it. You should go. I was the enthusiast, man.
Because he was already saying then that he wasn't.
Yeah, because he was so nervous. I was trying to, and I was like, fuck it, we should do it. This is gonna be your golden moment, because it would have been. I felt like we almost had him there, like he was on board first. I felt like when we got there, but as soon as he opened up the car door, back to reality. Kev was a little disappointed that he wasn't going out on stage, but that sort of melted away when Hitchbot came out and made its appearance. Kev went little kid. I was like, oh, look at it, and ooh, wow, and ooh, it does have arms and its little legs, and
and he had little boots, like little rain boots.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Kevin was very respectful upon hearing that the university was nervous because the listener told Kevin, because they were mad because you said you had sex with it, and Kevin got disappointed. Now I really wanted to write. I was prepared. I just thought it was fucking hilarious because people have signed all kinds of things all over this Hitchbot. Their name and their date, and I went to write lies, sex, murder, and poop. My American Journey by Hitchbot. And as soon as I started writing, I wrote L-I-E. Kevin cracked a smile and said, don't write it. Don't write it. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, they'll just get mad. And they already think we're sour on it, and they'll just make it worse. I'm like, all right. And I just crossed it out.
Because all of our listeners know how Kevin...
It's an inside joke. Kevin loves the damn thing. His Smodcast episodes about Hitchbot have probably done more publicity for that fucking Hitchbot than Hitchbot's publicity. Someone doesn't know what they're doing over there if they're viewing this in Kevin's involvement in any way negative. So I'm glad at least I could facilitate that happening for whatever it was worth. And it was a really cool moment, despite it not being a huge... it's a fucking great story. The whole thing is a great story.
Indeed. It was a great story. And we met, the guy who did Hitchbat out of it.
Yeah,
he does a Las Vegas podcast. And
we got to spend a little time with Kevin.
He's a really
Kevin
cool guy.
day.
We got to spend a little time with Kevin
and
that
the kids.
day.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot more to that story in the episode.
Yeah.
Like that is condensed from about an hour.
It was a lot of fun.
Now, when I went back and listened to it, you have mixed opinions. We love doing that. Like, let's get this down while it's fresh. Let's talk about this while it's on our minds.
Right.
But what you notice in retrospect is you hear we go off on so many wild tangents.
Yeah.
Like we talk about phones. Like there's a point where you want to you're like talking about Samsung versus iPhone in the middle. I'm like, what is going? Yeah, and I'm like, why didn't I edit this out?
I was thinking that.
But,
why didn't you edit it?
Yeah, but there's a lot of that, and
It's
I think
okay.
because at the time it's so raw and exciting, you want as much of that out there.
Yeah.
But then when you hear it later, you're like, oh my God. Oof.
This is rough.
Could have used 20 minutes of chop. I could have chopped 20 minutes out of that easily. Look, I just managed to cover the whole thing in like 4 minutes.
I know.
Now, granted, there's no, you don't hear all the interesting stories and any of the controversies or mysteries involved, but
yeah, that was fun. Like there were some,
not to mention the Midnight Smoke interview as well.
Of course, there were disappointments, but it was
Yeah,
there were fun
that
times
was
in that day too.
That was an amazing day. So
It seemed like weird that it was only one day. Because
Yeah.
there was so much in one day.
Well, that's also because the day before or 2 days before was Kevin's birthday at
Yeah,
Caroline's.
that's right.
And there
Yeah.
was a lot going on, but that
Yeah.
was probably the big moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's number 3. So there's only 2 left. All right, coming in at number 2. Now, this goes down. I've said it on the show many times. It's one of the most fun memories I can recall of the year. It was just like blissfully stupid and fun, and I was so glad to just be there and be a part of it. It didn't really have anything to do with us other than we got to be there, and we're fans, and we have a show to talk about the experience. And if we didn't have the show, we probably wouldn't have been there, because it was Chris Ladondo who was responsible for putting the whole thing together. And what I'm referring to is when we talk about on episode 2-6, we called it the What Say You special. And we posted this back on the 4th of April in 2015. And what it was there was a big special event. If you had been listening to What Say You, they had gone through all of the heretofore Fast and Furious movies, like giving commentary in anticipation for coming up for the big promotion of Fast and Furious 7. And along the way, Chris became their producer, and he was in touch with not United Artists, Universal, and they hooked up a screening for everybody. And And it was just off the hook because they encouraged people to kind of just be rowdy and make commentary at the screen. And it was just so much fun. It was such a great night. And then it was followed up with a comedy, at a comedy show afterwards. And, we were with Jenny Noel and, we saw Celeste and we just had a great old time. And
it was fun.
It was an awesome night. And here you go. Here's some, just a little walk down memory lane of that show. So Q and Sal come out and they lay out the rules that this is, they want hooting and hollering. They want chest bumping. They want whenever the character Roman is on, who's Ty Diggs, I think. Whenever he's on the stage, they want everyone to yell out, "It's Roman, bitches," which is a callback to the 6th movie.
And when there's like romance, kissing, and fondling, they want you to say vaginal activity.
Which is a Roman line.
I love that.
Yes, vaginal activity. And so also, anytime anyone was supposed to hit the Nas, you were supposed to yell Nas. Now, when they laid out that rule, that was the part I chimed in my first real quip of the night. And I said, and anytime they do it, make sure you look surprised if it's the first time you've ever seen Nas. I was happy that they tagged up on it and kept going. They got it.
So if you know Scott and you know the show, this was his time to shine.
Oh my God. Okay.
He loves to be able to do this sort of thing.
I am a Misty fan from way back. I know this totally outs me as a total dork.
Misty.
That's someone who was into the show Mystery Science.
I never knew that.
Theater 3000.
Like a Swiftie?
Like
a Taylor Swift fan?
But we're going, this is way predates Swiftie.
I know, but that's like a...
I guess I'm kind of a Swiftie in my
own
secret way.
Yeah, you're a Swiftie because...
I like to swiftly...
You want some vaginal...
Activity. Outrageous. They lay down these rules, or Q, go to Chris. So where are we sitting? And he goes, over here, I got seats. And so as I look, I see where Chris is going, and he's pointing to the 2 seats right next to Jeanne.
Right next to me.
And I said, oh my God. Q and Sal are going to sit next to you, Jeanne. It's your fucking wet dream.
Is this really happening?
So what happens though is, I guess they took a look at us and they're like, we don't know these fucking people, and so they divided themselves up. So he jumps back 1 seat and to the left of me, which is essentially directly behind Jeanne. Me. So Q was directly behind her, but he was. So all I had to do, anytime I turned my head to, whisper into Jeanne's ear, boom, there was Q. It was right in my peripheral vision. So, yeah, he could hear...
Did he hear all the dirty things you were saying to me?
Probably. I don't know. Was I saying dirty things?
I don't know.
I don't think I was. I was too into the moment. So, as a Misty fan, and Mystery Science Theater 3000, yelling at the screen is kind of like what we like to do.
Yeah.
Yelling quips at the screen.
I have to honestly tell you, there is nothing more, exciting for him. I mean, there's things, but this was something that
because it is really sort of it really gives you this. It's comedy chops.
Right.
It really is. It's comedy chops, and it's how fast. It's really thinking on your feet. It's improvisational.
Well, see, but this is the thing. To you, it's like a natural thing to just want to blurt something out when something's funny.
Yes.
But
or ironic or stupid
in
or
the everyday
ridiculous.
In the everyday,
you're not supposed to do it in a theater.
In the everyday, the etiquette is you don't shout at the screen.
This is not.
Like they tell you, turn your cell phone off.
Unless you're in Rocky Horror,
right? But now you are told to do it.
Yes.
So this is an experience of a lifetime.
Now I have Q behind me.
Yes.
I've got Sal in front of me. So to have Q behind me.
Oh, boy.
I have a very select audience I'm working for.
So now the work is going to start.
And it begins.
And what is your mission, sir?
to get Q to laugh. I mean, really, I want to make... But the truth of the matter is, it's even better than getting Q to laugh. Because... it's very obvious that he hears me, and it becomes we're tagging up off each other, and we're trying. And there's a little bit of a competition, but still, it's very friendly and very like,
Yeah. Well, the whole attitude of the place was jovial, so it's not.
My goal became, it is time now to drop Fast and Furious. What say you, Fast and Furious 7 Bon Mots?
Bon Mots.
With my hero behind me. I love that. Bon Mots. Oh, wow. So there you go. Wow.
Bon Mots.
We've gone through 9, all the major 9.
We just have one left.
Yeah, and let's face it, I don't think there's any motherfucker out there who doesn't know what's coming next. Do you think you know?
I might.
Oh, but you even know the episode number.
I don't know if I know the episode number. Do I?
You don't? I know it by heart.
I don't think I do.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised.
I know who it is, though, but...
1-53.
53.
With
I was going
Kevin
to say 52.
Smith.
I was going to say 52. But.
And, when I think back, it's like hard to believe that this happened in January of this year. It feels...
Well, I remember it was like a rainy... It was snowy. Remember that?
Yeah. And it was during the Tusk Day.
Yeah. Was that the beginning of January?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, we broadcasted this on the 21st, so you figure it happened in and around there.
Yeah, it did. Oh, yeah, because we didn't hold it very long.
Yeah. I mean, so, and this was...
Wow.
This is probably... Most people have heard this episode.
Such a great time.
It's most people's first episode. It's not a surprise.
It was magical. Like, Ashley was...
Yeah. We've spoke so much about this. I mean, I don't know how much we can really... But these are definitely, of that day, these are my 2 favorite moments. There's a lot more in the interview, but like in retrospect, when I even look at it, these were the most heartfelt and honest questions. Some of the other ones I was so nervous and distracted.
Yeah.
Like when I look at the interview now, it did not go nearly as smooth as I wished it would have.
Oh.
However, these moments were, erase every bon mot I fucked up on. So I don't think it's any surprise that this is from 1-53. Our guest is Kevin Smith. And this was posted on 1/21/15. And,
from the stash.
Yeah, without further interruption, here he comes, Mr. Kevin Smith.
Kind of think of this as your expert crowd, or, we don't need the canned sort of...
Done, so I can be very candid.
Yes. You can say whatever.
These are cats that have listened to every other podcast, so don't repeat that stuff.
You got it. Exactly. Don't treat it like a regular appearance.
I don't have to tell them the story of so we were listening to this podcast, and I realized I wanted to make a movie about a guy who turns another guy into a walrus. They've heard the story.
Yes. Okay, I got to ask Brian this one at a Comic-Con, but now I get to ask you. Was your performance in Vulgar based on Ben Affleck?
No. Who was my performance in Vulgar? I'm trying to think who I...
very Affleckian.
I mean, if anything, if it's Affleck influenced, that's because he was always one of my favorite actors. And so whenever he, acting is a job of choices. So whenever he makes his choices, particularly in early in our careers, I loved it. Like I don't know how else to say it, but I thought he.
Whenever you go big in that, you kind of feel Affleck. Yeah,
I steal from him because he's of
I'm
all
glad
the
I'm not
performers.
crazy.
You're not crazy. Of all the performers I've ever seen or been influenced by in my life, his patois and his delivery was closest to what I could do. And so anytime I tend to go a bit theatrical, I tend to steal a bit from his playbook, which, to be fair, is kind of my playbook as well, since, I did direct some of those performances. But I love Ben's style. It's different now, and we all grow up and shit, but, man, if I had to pick one person to spend the rest of my life with, it might be Ben Affleck circa 1996 to 1999. He was just so fucking perfect, the dude. He just really, I don't know, he was so original and knew exactly who he was. I had already made a few flicks like Clerks and shit, and Mallrats, but still, I've been trying to figure out who I am and piece that together on a daily basis. He knew exactly who the fuck he was, and he was his own biggest fan, which I used to find kind of oddly charming. And then, I was like, that's the way you should be in life. You should be your own biggest fucking fan. He would talk about like the peeps, tons of my peeps, and he had no peeps. Like he had no audience yet, but he saw them coming. He hoped that they would come. So yeah, I do. I steal from Ben, and that performance probably was Ben influenced, but it's not me playing Ben.
Yeah.
It's just when I act, I act like Ben. I try. I'm like, he's good. I could try that.
Ooh, I'm going to go a different place.
Go ahead.
Does this mean anything to you?
Go ahead, fire.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Telling the truth is a bitter herb.
Yeah, man, that's fucking Ishtar.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
One of my favorite movies and one of the movies that Scott and I bonded over.
Oh, wow.
And that right away, I was like, I like this guy because he liked that movie. And not everyone likes that movie.
All right, I have a
real divide.
I have a very Pete King moment.
Okay.
Because I had a very good friend named Rick Howe who passed at like 27. Had too much fun. We used to say that both of us would make 30. I made 30, but he would have been a magnificent podcaster.
Right.
And we love that movie. Oh. So to find out that you love that movie, and you never really talk about it, and I was
if
like,
you listen to
he's a
Smodcast,
fan.
You'll hear it every once in a while. We drop a reference. And it's usually to the lyrics in one of the songs and stuff.
Yeah,
but the whole
those.
opening of that movie is they're trying to write lyrics is so fucking awesome. But one of my favorite.
You could just take out the whole Ishtar part, except for where he's selling the weapons.
Or when he's talking to the fucking buzzards. That to me is one of the vultures when they're just like, "Are you crazy? I'm still moving."
Yeah,
it's
that's
still
right.
one of my favorite moments in comedy ever. It's really fucking funny.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
And it goes down as a flop.
Yeah,
the biggest
huge.
flop.
Huge. They don't talk about it anymore. But when I was a kid,
the concert
that
at the
was
end
how
is
fucking
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Brings the house down.
Tell him that you can be dangerous
business.
Honest and popular don't go hand in hand.
Yes. If you admit that you can play the accordion. Oh, my
They'll
fucking
never
God.
hire you in a rock and roll
I'm
band.
just singing this with Kevin Smith.
But we can sing our hearts out.
All night.
Oh, nice. Very nice. And if we're
lucky and the
neighbors
can
complain.
Something like that.
Oh, I love that.
I love when he's fucking out on the ledge.
Yes.
And his mom is like, "This sun will come out tomorrow."
Yeah, bet your bottom dollar. That was awesome.
Movie. Okay, well, I'm so thrilled. You made my day. You made my millennia.
Right on.
The Rabbi Pierce is here. Oh no, not Rabbi Pierce. That moment is magical. It's so wonderful to hear that moment singing with Kevin. So, singing.
I think we might even have that on video
From
somewhere.
Ishtar. We do. It's posted, but. And that's why it's probably no surprise to anyone that the number one pick in the United States on the ThatMan on FatMan show is Kevin Smith. Interview from January of this year from Tusk Day.
That was Tusk Day, yeah.
Yes. So.
Wow. That's such a great day.
And there you go. That summarizes what was a truly fucking amazing year. So grateful. So grateful to you folks for listening and for sticking with us. And, you guys are the inspiration and the thing that keeps us moving forward and keeps us doing this stuff. So.
And sharing and inspiring us and just giving us the energy to move forward and your positive vibes.
Indie Mac User and Tessie Groupie, you guys... You're a very important part of the show. You have no idea. So many times for contributions really feed the show and set the pace for the episode. So
we applaud you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for doing this, for what you do.
Happy New Year.
If we don't say it, we're saying it now.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for supporting us in
We love you.
2015. If we haven't mentioned you, it's been a long show. We we're overjoyed at the support and all the tweets and all the feedback from Facebook and all the support. And, it's just been an amazing year. And I hope that 2016, I don't know if it could top 2015, but if it's in the neighborhood, I would be very happy.
Mm-hmm. We're very busy.
With the movie coming out, that could make for a very big year, or it could make for another disaster. I mean, anything could happen.
I'm not foreseeing that, but That being said, check out Indiegogo.
Yes, please go to our Indiegogo campaign.
If you can give a little and share with somebody, and they can give a little, and it just adds up to
give a little bit, give a little bit of your life.
Actually, who was that? REO Speedwagon.
Yes.
I like
no,
that.
no, that's not REO. Is it? Is it?
I thought it was.
Who's do the Radical song?
I thought it was REO Speedwagon.
Day that life was so wonderful.
Oh,
Same band.
That's not REO Speedwagon?
No. God damn it, I can't think of it right now.
I'll have to
Get me REO Speedwagon. No, that's not them, sir. I don't, hey, I'm Bob Iger. Get me REO Speedwagon. I will give someone huge props.
That's Supertramp.
If they can call back if they can tell me what I just called back right there. This is one from one of my faves. Anyway. Yes, indeed. Who was it? Supertramp. Yes, Supertramp. Supertramp had some good songs.
They really did.
They had a couple of good,
really good
hits
ones.
there.
Why did I think they were REO Speedwagon? That's not right.
I don't know. For the same reason that the Jefferson Airplane thing. But anyway, that's too much of a hint. The cat's falling off my lap. What a pain in the ass. You know, guys, 2015. I've been able to say that we've had a good year, but it's been a great year. It's been amazing. We thank you so much.
For everything.
Please come back in 2016 and see what's in store for you next, because we don't even know. More video. I'm glad we were able to finish these out, though, with the more intimate audio shows.
Uh-huh.
But more video, back to video in the new year. And with Jeanne's yawn, I am so hard to stifle it, I can't.
Well, it happens.
You contagiosized me.
I did.
All right, folks.
That's a sympathetic
We hope you
yawn.
enjoyed this little walk back down memory lane. A little bit of nostalgia of the past year. And thanks to everybody who was a guest this year, even if we didn't poll you in the top 10. But we really did appreciate it. And we do think that you're all smart and good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
And we'll see you, and you'll hear us again in 2016. Take care.
Bye.
Gotta get me on the track. Gotta drag it on my back, yeah.
Go get him, that man.